And they all boil down to one thing. So here's what I want you to kind of pay attention to. When it comes to manifesting, so let's take a walk together. We're going to be walking down this beach. I'll let you have a look at it first. If you've watched my videos over the last couple of years, you've seen this beach many times because I moved here back in early July of 2023. And except for a couple of trips back to the United States to see my children and grandchildren and family, I've been here for 2 years. So let's take a stroll, and I want to talk to you about something I hope you'll benefit from and will move you to action, to actually take the steps, simple steps, the ones that need to be followed, right? To actually manifest a life like this. Now, this is particularly for those who may feel a bit stuck, may still be even deciding what they want, and you don't have to be at the point I was. I was at a point of deciding to retire or not, and I chose to take an early retirement because I was laid off beginning of COVID back in March of 2020, and then began my journey, which many of you know about, and which is detailed in my travel adventure videos series on this YouTube site. So decades ago, I became an avid reader and studier, and one who sought to apply all that stuff on the law of attraction. But things really began to accelerate for me when I really started using the law of assumption based on Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard, particularly his book, The Power of Awareness and Awakened Imagination. Those two books have helped me more than any others. I benefit from his complete collection, along with his lectures, all of the works of Neville Goddard. And they all boil down to one thing. So here's what I want you to kind of pay attention to. When it comes to manifesting, what's a key if there is one? Well, it's been worded several different ways. Earl Nightingale said, "We become what we think about." Neville Goddard said it was about awareness, becoming aware in the power that you have within, and imagining and believing yourself to have that goal as already achieved. So becoming what you think about is really thinking about something to the point where you believe that it's true for you, even when you haven't seen it visibly in your world yet. So it's taking from the invisible, right, where all things exist. Now I'm going to go deep on you for a second. So in the quantum field, fourth dimension, in the universe, all things already exist, all possibilities exist, and all things are possible with God, okay? And so they exist not way out there, but they exist through the power of your mind, your imagination, what you think about, and what you choose to accept and believe as true for you, and believing it to be true to the point where it actually becomes your visible reality. Wow. Maybe I did go a little too deep there. But really, what you come to believe, you can bring about in your life. So if you believe and accept in the current circumstances that you're in, such as poverty, lack, and limitation, you'll continue to experience that. If, on the other hand, you choose to believe that you're abundant, that you're healthy, that you're living an amazing life, a life that you've chosen, in my case, a beach life. In your case, could be something locally where you live, just a better job, an amazing partner, raising your children, maybe pursuing a skill or another craft that you'd like to become really good at and actually making a living from it. Perhaps a complete change of lifestyle that might involve no longer being with the person that you're with and creating a new relationship. Regardless, you have to see it in your mind's eye, imagine it first. Now, before you can do that, of course, you need to know what you want. So it's very, very simple. You have to know what you want, then see it and believe it as true already. See it and believe it as true already. Yeah, you want to imagine that you already have it. Now, by imagining you already have it, got to go deep on you again for a second. This connects you vibrationally and connects you with, tunes you into the correlate or the equivalent of what you're looking for. So if you know what you're looking for, you have a clear picture in your mind, you visualize it and you believe it to be true, you begin to bring the circumstances, people, serendipities, coincidences, if you will, the things that need to happen in order for it to become real. Are you with me so far? As a starting point, very simple, you need to know what you want. If you don't know what you desire, don't expect it to happen. Okay? So you start there with sitting down, if you need to, if you don't know already, meditating on and considering what you'd like your life to look like, what you'd like to experience, what you'd like to have. So, for example, in any considerations such as health, lifestyle, abundance, material things, certainly, things on a spiritual level, relationships, having the experiences perhaps in life, in travel, whatever it might be for you, you have to decide yourself. No one should choose it for you. No one should judge you as to whether it's right or wrong. It's your life. It's your choices. Well, how then do you take that from a thought or a goal or a fantasy, if you will, a desire, and turn that into a reality in your world? In other words, how do you manifest it? How do you make it become real? I believe firmly in the suggestion that I've used so many, many times, and that is write it down. Yes, just simply write it down. And you can use your phone, you can use a laptop, but I suggest, as Bob Proctor did, you literally use pen and paper and a notepad. Why? Well, when you actually engage your fingers and your hands with your mind and heart as you just let your pen flow and you write it out, scientifically it's been proven there's a lot more power in that than typing on a device. Yes, you can add it to a device later if you choose to, absolutely. But to initially write it down in your own handwriting, where you can cross it out, correct, you can think about it, you can write it out and really express yourself is the best way to do it. So that's where you start. You start right there with writing out your goal, visualizing it, seeing it as you'd like it to turn out. Could be something simple as that career and job that you like. Could be a particular skill that you want to see yourself performing in a better way. Could be manifesting a relationship, a partner, right? That woman or man that you'd like to have in your life. Doesn't have to be a specific person, but the qualities, the look, the personality characteristics, the type of relationship and person you'd like to be with. Look at this cute little, oh my goodness. It's a little baby crawling on the beach. Oh my goodness. That's so awesome. I have 3 grown children and 5 grandchildren, so I love seeing that. Yeah. So getting back to the point, write it out. So you write it out. That's step 1. Very simple. Just write it out. Now you might write it and rewrite it. Could be 2 pages or 10 pages. So it's a little bit like scripting. You just write it out and you might rewrite it. You might do this for a week or more. You might decide that what you wrote out is not really what you want as a goal. You might change your mind. You might modify it. You might make other decisions regarding what you'd like to achieve. That's perfectly okay. So that's step 1. Think about, meditate on, contemplate what you'd like to have in your life, what you'd like to do, be, and have. Simple. Okay? It can be really simple, or it can be several things involving your home, your partner, your work, your lifestyle, things you want to achieve. That's completely up to you. But write it out, and write it out in detail without any thought of limitation. So when you're writing it out, you don't think in terms of, well, that's not realistic. I don't think I could ever have that, or I don't think I could ever move there, have that quality of partner. I don't think I deserve that, and all of that stuff. No, don't take any of that into consideration. Write with complete freedom that if you could have the life that you want, what it would look like. Just keep writing. Write it out. And again, you might do this for several hours, several days, or even a week or more. Okay, so that again is step 1. Keep in mind as you do this, you really want to tap into your imagination and visualization. And I'm a very visual person. And so when I was contemplating my island life during the confusing, challenging peak of COVID back in early 2020, I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know exactly where it might happen, but I knew I was going to have a beach life. I did a lot of research on YouTube. I looked up the most beautiful islands and beaches in the world, places to live, cultures and so forth that I might consider where I would want to live. I did my research, and because I'm so visual, there's just amazing islands and beaches and oceans around the world that just stimulated me visually and helped me to visualize what I wanted to do, be, and see in my life as regards a beach life. Okay? So you might do that too, whether it's books, magazines, television, movies, and certainly online. You can look up whatever subject, whatever career, whatever type of skill, whatever it is you're interested in, you can look that up. And not about so much about the how-to, but it's just to be able to see it, to help you to visualize it. Use actual visuals. And that's perfectly okay if you do that. Now you're beginning to see it and visualize it and get a clear picture in your mind what you want your life to be like. Right? You've written it out and you've taken that. That's a huge step in itself, because you're giving yourself permission to dream, to let your imagination flow, to let the potentials and possibilities flow in your mind and heart, and you're putting it down to pen and paper. So I suggest having a dedicated notebook for this. Now, have you done that? If you haven't, at some point you can come back to this video and do that. And then at that point, you'd pause this video and write it out. Okay. Now, when you come back, we'll go into step 2. Okay, step 2. And step 2 is also relatively simple. Okay, and that is to now take your notes, what you've written down as your goal and dream life, whatever area or areas of life that you've written out, and now I want you to rewrite it in the first person present tense and use gratitude, such as, I am so grateful now that I have my dream job, working at such and such career, developing my skills in such and such area. My income now is such and such, and I am so grateful. And I am so pleased that I have the partner that I've always wanted to be with. He or she is ideal. We have so much in common. We like the same activities. We like traveling to the same areas. We enjoy the same type of entertainment, such as this, that, the other. In my case, scuba diving, snorkeling, traveling, enjoying other tropical places, traveling and so forth. So in my case, it has to be somebody that's also fearless. Anyway, whatever those qualities are, also kindness, sweet, gentle, good communicator. Whatever qualities you're seeking in that person, you write those out, right? But you write them out as you're so grateful for already being with that person. We love traveling together. We love eating spicy food together. It is such a pleasure to be with her, him, right? You write it out, first person present tense, as already yours. And the sun has come out. The water has just gotten clearer by the moment. How clear the water is. I definitely need to do some snorkeling today. Man, it's beautiful. Love it. Again, I'm here on Aninuan Beach in the island of Mindoro, Portugalera, where I live. Wow, it's awesome today. Okay, you ready? Well, let's highlight again steps 1 and 2, and then we'll go into step 3. So remember, step 1 was using your imagination, letting your pen flow, and writing out how you'd like your life to look like. What you would like, if you could, if you had no limits and everything was possible, what you'd like to be, have, do, accomplish from this point forward. It doesn't matter whether you're 20 years old, 30, 40, 50, or 67 like I am. Wherever you are, start from that point and imagine the life you'd like to have. Okay? So, you've done that, and now you've done the second step, which is to put it in the first person present tense and imagine it as already yours, and write down with expressions of gratitude, I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful that now that I have such and such career, now that I have such and such life, now that I finally live in Southeast Asia, now that I finally live in Morocco, now that I live in Spain, in Portugal, wherever it is your goal is, right? Now that I'm living here in the Dominican Republic, now that I have moved to North Carolina, now that I'm finally living in the mountains up here in Wyoming and Montana. Whatever it is for you, it's not my goal, it's yours. But write it down, the first person present tense is already yours. If you're in the mountains, you might talk about how you love your cabin, your 3-bedroom cabin in the mountains, and you see elk and deer every day. It's your life that you're creating. So, but you do it in the first person present tense, it's already yours. You're enjoying it, you're there, it's yours. And that's the spirit of manifesting, is you have to be already there. Imagine yourself already having it. Okay, now that's in step 2. Along with step 2, what I'd recommend that you do with step 2 is actually record it. You've written it down. You can get a phone app. There are several to choose from, recording apps on your phone and or on your laptop. You could too, but phone makes it really easy because you can take that with you and listen to it. So actually record your first person present tense expression, your story of your life as it looks like once you're already there. You're again writing it out as already yours, and now you're recording it as already yours. This will give you the ability to listen to it during the day, in the morning, in the evening, perhaps several times a day, because you're training. One of the things you're doing is training your subconscious mind. You are fusing yourself with that goal as already yours. Again, you're training yourself, your subconscious mind, which is connected to the quantum field, to the fourth dimension, to the universe, to all that needs to take place. Call it God if you like. That's what I prefer. You're connecting with the God within that is connected to all the circumstances, people, and things that need to happen in order for you to have your goal accomplished. So record it. Record it. And when you do record it, remember this. When you record it, you need to make it very enthusiastic, because we sound very monotone to ourselves. So you have to actually add emphasis, add, how you're passionately, you appreciate it, you love it, you're so grateful, your life is so beautiful now, you're so in love, and you love being with your new partner, whatever the case is. When you record it, you need to record it with a little more passion than you think you need to. Trust me, when you re-listen to yourself, you're going to say, I sound so monotone, I sound so blah, right? So when you record it, if you really want it to reach your heart and your subconscious better, add emphasis, add emotion, add the feelings, expressions of feelings you would have having that life. Okay? So record it. That's my little extra tip for step 2. Now let's go into step 3 when you're ready. Steps 1 and 2 could take 1 day or could take 2 or 3 weeks. There is no time schedule on doing those steps of writing it out in the first person, and then recording it. You take the time you need, because the invested time you're putting into this is all going to make it worthwhile. So you can do it in that recording. You can re-record it. You can say, well, I don't quite like how that sounds. You could add music to it. You can embellish it, right, to make it more real to yourself. Now remember, also, I recommended along with that step 2 that what's helping you to visualize it for many of you is actually looking up things online concerning the subject, be it the career, be it a location you want to move to, be it imagining the mountains or the beach or the ocean through visuals, actual visuals, perhaps found online, on YouTube, and so forth. Okay? So now you're doing all of that. This is putting you in the attitude, the spirit, the mood of making it more realistic for yourself of what your life will be like, and assuming that it's yours. And that's really step 3. You want to assume that it's already yours, and you do this by doing the following. You take now that whole story that you put in the first person, and you narrow it down to a single event. Narrow it down to a single event or act. I actually have a couple of videos on that I'll leave for you in the links. Okay? So, how do you create an imaginal event, and why is that important? Well, you want to create an imaginal event or act that implies that you already are living that life. Now, it's a single, brief, need not be complicated, in fact, simple is better, act or event that implies that you already have that life. I will give you a couple of quick examples, ones that I've used for myself and for my clients in my coaching work as an imagination coach, of an imaginal event that you can utilize. So for example, if it has to do with career, a particular line of work, or even a particular job, you want to imagine that you've already got it. All right, you've already been hired, you're in that position. So if it's working for a particular firm, for example, where you go into an office, you could, for example, imagine yourself shaking hands with the director who's hired you, and even it might even be a week or two or a month after you've been hired, and he's called you into the office, and he's shaking your hand and simply telling you how much he appreciates the work that you've been doing, and that they are so happy that they hired, ed, past tense. You've been hired there, you're working there, and they're simply expressing their gratitude for the amazing job that you're doing. Okay, so it needs to be an event that follows you already having your goal. An example with a relationship would be that you're already with that ideal person that you want to be with. Okay, and perhaps you're at a restaurant with them and you're embracing or you're enjoying a drink together, and she or he may say to you, "I'm so happy that we're having our life together. I love being with you. This is amazing." And you responding something along the lines of, "I love you, and this is truly an amazing relationship, and I'm so glad that I met you, and I'm so happy that we're together." Now, that was my words. You choose your own words, whatever you're comfortable with. I love being with you. Our life is amazing. But you're actually communicating with them in a scene. You need to visualize it, feel it, hear it, taste it, touch it. It could be at a restaurant. It could be on your front porch of your apartment or home. It could be on that dream vacation that you've gone together on the beach or in the mountains or wherever it is, on a cruise ship, you name it. You're there, you're experiencing it, and you're expressing gratitude to each other if you're with someone that you finally want to be with and you're having that great relationship, or if it's somebody you're already married to or with and you're just having the time of your lives and your relationship is fantastic. You know, see it, feel it, taste it, hear it. Hear them, hear yourself speaking to them, see it. Where would it be? So you imagine that actual event at a specific place, but keep it brief. Keep it brief. This is like a 30-second to 2-minute encounter only. Okay? And it doesn't involve anything to do with how. It's all about just seeing it as already yours and seeing that imaginal event. Again, click that link I gave you for imaginal event, and I'll give you more detail of how to create that imaginal scene or event. Now, how do we use that? What do we do next with it? So in that step 3, after you've created your imaginal event, what you want to do now is take this into your sleep. So you'll do the alpha meditation. Now the steps to get into the alpha meditation are highlighted in several places in Neville Goddard's books, and of course on my videos here on YouTube. In Neville Goddard's books, I would recommend The Power of Awareness, chapter 19. All right. In his Neville Goddard's book, Out of This World, I would recommend chapters 1 and 2, where it's detailed of how to get into this alpha state meditation. Now, the alpha state meditation is actually relatively simple. You want to relax, and as you relax off into sleep, before sleeping, you just get into an I am state of relaxing and connecting with God, but just, it's not conditioned yet. It's just a simple state of relaxation where you're bordering on sleep, you're relaxed, you're breathing, you're getting into a meditative state of alpha. It's the alpha brainwave state, just before sleep ensues. Now, When you get into that relaxed state, now you condition your thoughts and imagination. You bring that imaginal event back into focus and imagine that scene that you've already, again, I would recommend writing that out also. You've already imagined this scene where you're being congratulated, or you're with that person that you want to be with, or you're on that trip, you're living in that new location, you have that great career, whatever is involved with your imagination on that scene. And all you do is you imagine yourself there in that scene. Feel it as much as possible. Neville says that feeling is a secret, so feel into it, imagine it, you're there, and just repeat that scene, the actions involved, of hearing them, of hearing yourself, of being there, of visualizing it as you fall off into sleep. What you're doing is, scientifically, you're sounding it down into your subconscious, you're rewiring yourself, you're fusing yourself on a cellular level with that as a reality. That also is connected to God, if you will, the universe, the quantum field, the fourth dimension, where all those conditions and possibilities, that lifestyle, that person, that version of you already exists. Yes, it already exists. It already happened. You're simply now fusing yourself with it through this alpha meditation. Now you do this nightly, and you'll find things begin to happen. The life that you're looking for, you meet the right people, you have the right circumstances, you get the right inspiration, you come across the right information that connects you with whatever needs to happen to have that life. Okay? So that's the alpha meditation. I'll leave you a link for the alpha meditation also, and then how you can develop your own form of the alpha meditation. So that is the final step that you now practice to bring about the reality you seek. I want to thank those of you who stayed till the end here, and my hope is that you'll benefit by actually utilizing and practicing the steps that I've mentioned here. I highlight those steps in many other ways in my other videos. I'll encourage you to subscribe and click on the videos that I leave for you, and also go to my channel and you'll see a whole catalog of videos that help you learn how to visualize, create your imaginal state, how to write it out, how to take those steps that will bring you closer to and actually help you experience the life that you seek. Until next time, this has been Robert Meade. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you again real soon.